Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I salute you, Honorable Dr. Rania Al-Mashat, Minister of International Cooperation of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Ms. Elena Tanasova Panova, the UN Resident Coordinator in Egypt, Mr. Sherif El Gabali, member of the Egyptian Parliament and Chairman of the Committee on Cooperation, International Relations and Conflict Resolutions at the Pan-African Parliament, Chairman of the African Affairs Committee in the Egyptian Parliament, Mr. Ali Issa, Chairman of the Egyptian Business Association, Ms. Irene Ochem, Founder and CEO of the Africa Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum. I stand on all protocol and greet you, Excellencies, and wish you all the best for this forum. Allow me to express my sincere appreciation for being here and being afforded an opportunity to address you at this opening ceremony of the African Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum, which is in its 8th edition. I bring you greetings from His Excellency Musa Faki Mahamat, a Chairperson of the African Union Commission, who also wishes to congratulate you on this forum organized at such a timely event moment. As we all know, Africa's women and youth are generally the most curious, innovative, and adaptable of the continent's population. Statistics reveal that they are 1.6 times more likely than any other demographic to become entrepreneurs and innovators. And we know that they are the driving force of the informal, micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, commonly known as IMSMEs, which are key to economic growth in Africa, accounting for 80% of the continent's businesses and a major source, of course, of job creation in Africa. The African Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum, being an award-winning women economic empowerment organization that supports women entrepreneurs in Africa to grow their businesses and fulfill their potential, has mobilized over 15,000 participants in its conferences from 47 countries on the continent, with over 2,000 AWIEF program alumni since 2015. The AWIEF has the goal of fostering women's economic inclusion, advancement, and empowerment through entrepreneurship, support, and development. The forum's theme, as we have all heard, is advancing Africa through gender inclusion, integration. And this serves as an opportunity to speak about the Women and Youth Financial and Economic Inclusion Initiative, WYFEI, WYFEI 2030, to key partners and stakeholders in this forum, which similarly aims to unlock financing and opportunities for African women and youth entrepreneurs, specifically by unlocking $100 billion US dollars for at least 10 million African women and youth entrepreneurs by 2030, by leveraging and building on existing initiatives and financial instruments, both in the public and private sector, among others, that seek to financially and economically empower women and youth. This initiative we call WYFEI 2030 is a programmatic response of the African Union to the African Women's Decade 2020 to 2030. The purpose of the decade is to promote equality between men and women by accelerating the financial inclusion and economic empowerment of African women in line with Agenda 2063 and regional policy frameworks. This requires the mobilization of financial resources from all possible sources, including bilateral and multilateral partners, non-governmental organizations, and other parties, member states, women networks, and so on, in order to provide support to action within the African Union member states. Ladies and gentlemen, as such, this forum hits the nail on the head with its mandate to foster gender integration on the continent as a strategy for Africa's development. It's my hope that entrepreneurs, startups, thought leaders, policymakers, international development partners, investors, civil society organizations, academia, and media will plug into this great initiative. As we consider the ways in which gender integration can drive our development, allow me to draw your attention to multi-level actions proposed by the Women and Youth Financial and Economic Inclusion 2030 strategy to enhance the financial and economic inclusion of African women and youth. First of all, at the micro level, the initiative seeks to increase income of women and youth by supporting entrepreneurship and advocating for parity in employment. At the systems level, the WYFEI 2030 calls for action to be taken to support the development of transaction platforms, as well as make the necessary adjustments to provide an enabling regulatory environment. And at the environmental level, the WYFEI 2030 calls for market access and macroeconomic policies that will enhance the creation and sustainability of jobs and makes a strong case for women and youth to have access to factors of production. I'd like to encourage AWIEF members and other distinguished guests present today to identify ways to support the implementation of this Women and Youth Financial and Economic Inclusion 2030 initiative as we work towards gender integration, which requires us to level the playing field for women and youth by ensuring matters of inclusion are addressed. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the duration of this forum, I encourage us to be purposely and actively engaged in all of the sessions. Indeed, the sharing of experiences will allow us for our policy interventions to be strengthened and more responsive. I encourage us to take advantage of platforms such as these and collaborate in coming up with key actions and steps forward towards women's economic empowerment. In closing, I'd like to commend the African Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum in partnership with Egypt's Ministry of International Cooperation and the co-organizer, Egyptian Business Association, for taking this powerful crop of African women under your wing and convening this very necessary forum to help them to make a difference within the innovation and entrepreneurship space across the African continent. It's now my pleasure to wish you fruitful discussions and interactions. The African Union Commission looks forward to the dynamic collaboration that will surely be a result of this gathering. I thank you so much for your kind attention.